All right, good morning. I'm back in action. It is Tuesday, June 21st, 8:22 in the morning. Had Friday, I took Friday off. I didn't trade yesterday. I was traveling with the family, and we're back in front of the screens today. So, as per usual, we've got our 15-minute here and our 1 minute over here. The red and the green lines just denote the overnight high and the low. I didn't realize yesterday was a shortened session. I think it was at least. Yeah, it looks like it ended around 12 noon. So here is the price action from yesterday with the normal trading hours just right here in the black, and then here's overnight also. So that's our 15-minute and 5 minute. Usually, whenever I've taken off a few days or haven't set in front of the screens for a few days, I'll. It's not that I'm disoriented, but it takes a little bit to kind of figure out my levels and see where I want to do business. So, but with trading, it's dynamic, and as always, it might be that I see a setup right away, or it might be quite a while until we get something worth pulling the trigger on and getting involved with. Here's our daily chart. So again, come down quite a far way, and sold off hard last week, or the week before, really. This is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I believe, something like that. And now we're right here. We're going to be opening up, looks like pretty close to the middle of this range, maybe like the upper third of it. We do have some news at 9 a.m. and it's like a red dot news. So for me, that just means that it has the potential to move the market a little bit. Let me go back here. We've got existing home sales. Now I'm sure the next report could be pretty rough, but this is going back, I think it's like May's existing home sales. So I know there's a little bit of a decline in April, probably be a little bit of a decline as expected for May, but I think the real decline comes with June. Yeah, I'm gonna go grab my tea and I'll be right back. All right, good morning to anyone who is tuned in. Got about 2.5 minutes before the open. As I mentioned earlier, I didn't trade Friday and Monday, so today's my first day back. I will let the market set up and see if there's anything that makes sense. Here's our 15 minute. Here's our 5-minute shortened version or shortened period, shortened trading hours yesterday. Really low volume, which is to be expected. I didn't realize because of Juneteenth that the market was closed. Wasn't aware of that. So we'll let the market set up, show us what it wants to do. We'll keep in mind that today is a Tuesday, but it could be more like a Monday as far as, and it's new, it's officially started a new contract for the Emini. Now I'm sure that guys have been trading it for at least the past week, but we're officially into the new contract. So we'll just watch it and let it set up and get an idea, get a thesis, and go from there. We're going to remember that we can and will have a winning performance every single day. We can and will have a winning performance. It depends on how you define your winning performance. If it's, I've got to be a winner in every single trade, I can't lose any money, well, good luck with that, with trading. But if we define it as I do, winning performance for me consists of 3 things. It's just watching and observing. So being an observer of the market, trying to get a feel for what the market's trying to tell me. Not fearing I'll miss the move. Knowing that most of my trades, probably 95% of them, they don't have to be trigger finger trades. I've got time to let it set up, usually 15 minutes, sometimes maybe even longer, once I have a thesis put together. And then even once it comes to a level that I like, I've usually got a minute or 2 to decide what I want to do. And then finally just executing with stops in place and targets in place. So that to me is defined as a winning performance. When you focus on the process and not so much the outcome. Not that you shouldn't be focused on the outcome, you should, but if that's all you're focused on, is if this is a winner, this has to be a winner, this can't be a loser, as opposed to the process of where am I wrong, what's the market telling me, what's it trying to do. It's much, much better to follow the process well. Now I'll mark the first minute of trade with 2 lines here. We just call this the opening range. Oops, that's not it. That's a text box. Let's see here. And as I mentioned earlier, we do have news at 9 o'clock Central. It's 8:31 right now, just a minute and a half into the open. We're opening in between overnight action, probably the top 2/3. I would think that we could try to, see if we try to like recapture this area where a lot of trade took place in here. And as mentioned earlier, I'm just going to be taking my time today. Hadn't traded in a few days, so I want to get used to a rhythm of what the market's trying to do. Try to find my way before forming a thesis or hypothesis of what I think could happen. Let's see, let me go back to a little bit more context here. So I just watched the daily chart, daily candle, the 15 minute, 5 minute, and the 1 minute. And we are gapping higher from Friday as well. So I want to keep that in mind. Hey Micah, good morning. Just looking for levels here that I might want to do business at. Looking at my 5 minute, going back to, I think it was last Wednesday. Yeah, when the Fed spoke, how there was a lot of whipsaw action, a lot of back and forth. Sure, guys got shaken out of positions. That would have been right here on the 15 minute. So yeah, last Wednesday in the early afternoon around 1 p.m. Central, big moves just whipping back and forth. Tail put in here, right? So like they came down here, slammed it back up, pushed it back up again. Got some spikes here. It is like a Monday. There was hardly any volume yesterday. So today's kind of like the first day of our week where, and it's the first day of the new month with officially the new contract. So I'm sure that money managers are positioning and repositioning. So we got two bull bars on the open here on the 5 minute. Getting close to that overnight high. Still a gap higher today. Pretty big move here on the 15-minute bar. And again, some days I've got an idea of what I'd like to do early. I was disappointed a little bit to miss Friday. I felt like I had just a good read on where the market could settle or what it would do on Friday based on price action. But that's just the way it is. So here we've got our overnight high, green dotted line, overnight low, the red dotted line. We've got our opening range. This is just the first minute of trade that's taken place. So essentially like where we open at. We've got our 15-minute here and our 1 minute. I also watch the 5-minute quite a bit. Got two pretty bullish bars here on the 5-minute right off the open. We'll have a new 5-minute here in just a few seconds. And looking at the 15, we've just kind of, now granted the shaded areas are the overnight sessions, but we've just kind of walked up since Sunday night. Just kind of stepped it up, 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 up. All right, the bull's just pushing up higher. Strong open so far. We've gapped higher, and we've got another 2 minutes until we put in a new 5-minute bar, but this is bullish, obviously. So opened here, didn't really look back and just push higher. So I haven't done anything yet this morning. We're early and we're only about 14 minutes in. We do have news, I think existing home sales coming out here at 9 a.m. Central. So that has the potential to move the market. So right now, just getting a feel for what it's trying to do. Sitting back and waiting, trying to see what it's trying to tell us, right? The analogy I use is like watching a sketch artist drawing things, and you might walk up to the artist and you might see right away what they're drawing, or it might be that they just started and it's just a bunch of random lines to you that there's no congruity, like it doesn't make any sense to your mind. So it's just like lines, and you can't see what they're drawing. But then after a while, as you continue to look and wonder, maybe even you take a break and step away and come back 5 minutes later, you're able to see, oh, they're drawing a car, or they're drawing a skyline, or this is a picture of a river. All the lines that were random click and they make sense. And so for me, that's helpful when I watch the market, because there's times when it's just random movement, or looking at the chart, I don't know where I can maybe see what I'd like to do, but I'm not sure where I'd like to get involved. So to just sit back, wait, to give it time, let it set up until I've got a better picture of what it's doing and where I'd like to get involved, that's helpful. And sometimes that takes 5 minutes, sometimes it takes 5 hours. Sometimes you wait the whole day and you don't see anything. So knowing that every time, every day is different and unique unto itself. So pretty good sell-off there from 59, pushing down to 51. Not that this is a huge move, but relative to the action we've seen this morning, this looks like the biggest bar in the 1 minute so far. So came up here and just sold off. Keeping in mind too that, sorry if I'm a broken record, but just thinking out loud, keeping in mind that today is like a Monday, because yesterday the time period was short. Big responsive and maybe initiative buy here right off close to the overnight high. So that's interesting. So that's a significant move there. We'll see if the bulls sustain it or if they give way, but looking at the 5 minute. So it's a big push up, came down pretty hard, and the bulls responded, bought it right back up. Maybe because we're kind of above, I guess, this congestion area, but it's a little bit muddied here. So we've got a lot of business that was done in this area between probably like the bottom of the opening range to about 60. And we have what could be resistance up here, so it could be an interesting day. Interesting morning, you never know. Could be boring until it's not, or it could be interesting until it's not. Just the dynamics of the market, the tempo, the pace. It's interesting. All right, got another 2 minutes till we put in a new 5 minute bar. We'll watch that one that we're forming right now. Let's see if it remains red or if they turn it back and it goes green. In the meantime, it looks like that area, about 57.5, about 57 is somewhat of a battle zone. So if we do come up and show weakness up above, I'd be looking to see what it does at 57. We do have our news coming out in just over 10 minutes, another 11 minutes. Oh, I'm a little tired this morning. A little tired. So 57 is an area of interest. And 50. All right, so just hanging tight, watching and observing, kind of letting the market set up here. Don't have a thesis one way or the other just yet, or at least anything that I want to put money on. I mean, I've got some ideas of what I might like to do, but nothing that's worth putting any money on just yet. There's always a lot of questions with trading, right? Like, if we do this, then we should consider that. If we do that, then we should consider this. If this, then that. Yeah, Mike, I hear you. Trip was good, James. James P. Yeah, let's not have FOMO, which we're humans, so there's going to be that desire there. But we don't know yet if it's one directional. It could be. But yeah, it's often for me that fear of missing out that can really, really just get me in a bad way. We don't know. It could be. It could be one way, or it could reverse. But it's good, Mike, even to be aware of that. Like, it's good to know what your strengths and weaknesses are. Yeah, for me, unless I catch the trend early, for me, trend days are ones that can hurt me the worst, just because I tend to be an outside-in trader. I tend to look for exhaustions of the move. But I want to get better at catching trends and running with it, kind of catching that wave and then just letting the wave take me, be it up or down. So 57 is, in my mind, a little bit of an area of contention. Seems like we pushed through it. Looks like the bull run might just be taking a little bit of a pause here, and then it could continue back up higher. Just based on our 5 minute. 5 minute got up really quick, pretty hard. Held the 37.50, looked like it sold off. Bulls bought it right back up, so we'll see if they can push it higher. Yeah, James, trip was good. Went up to Chicago. It was a nice time visiting family up there, and it's always quick when you drive. It was me and the family. Visited my grandma, who she's 90. Well, she was 95 and 3/4 years old. So hers was a life well lived. But it was really nice to see her one last time. It's really good. We've got our news in 6 minutes. Just looking at some levels on the 5-minute here. All right, we've got 4 minutes till our news. We'll watch, see what it does here at 60. Market's pretty bullish so far. We've gapped up. I suppose the bears had their chance with this big down bar, but then it just got bought right back up. I'm wondering if I should try to get long. But again, it's early yet for me. I'm not gonna fear of missing the move. I'll know it when I see it. Some moves you just can't get on, others you do. Some you don't catch, others you catch. I might buy some here and be wrong. I'd be wrong below that number. I'm going to buy some right here. And I'll say that I'm wrong below this level right here. And with our news coming, I might decide to bail on this one as well. We've got news in just 2.5. So if we don't get a pop here soon, I might let this go, or at least like scale out of some of it. All right, we've got what do we got here? 1.5 minutes. All right, this is where I want to see it move from here. If we don't, I'm going to cut bait on this and I'll do something different. I'm getting close to news, so I'm going to sell a little bit right here. Just 20% of that one. Alright. Sell a little bit more right here. And then I'm just going to hold the rest just below my stop, just below break even. Because news is out and I don't want to get caught with my pants down. It's never any fun. So I've got my stop really tight here at break even. I scaled out of 40%, seeing if we would get a pop before the news. I guess we got a little bit of a pop. We'll see if we continue on here or if we just stall out and that's it. Figured if we take me out, I can always re-enter if I really dislike it to the long side. So still holding this one. I got involved here at 60. Took off 40% up here as news was just coming out, and I've got the rest of my 60% of this just at break even here. So if it takes me out, if it does, if not, I'll hold it and see if I can squeeze some more out of this lemon. I'm going to pull my stops down just a little bit, give it a little bit more wiggle room. I had 65 as a target earlier. So not a great trade, but wasn't it small enough to where it took advantage of some of the price action. And my stop is just below this level here. Actually, I probably ought to move it right here. I think I'll do that. Move it down just a little bit more. One of them at least. Now I'm going to hold some. Don't know if I want to move it yet. We'll see if this market has any legs to push higher. Let's see. There we go. All right, looking good. All right, I sold just a little bit more right there. So I'm in half of this original position. I've got my other half now at break even as far as a trailing stop. So now I've got my trailing stop just right here, just a little bit above break even for me. Target on this, I'd like to see 80 or 76. Watching the 5 minute, we've got another, what do we got here? Looks like 45 seconds till we put in a new 5 minute bar. 5 minute looking decent, so I'm not going to mess with it, just let it be. But next target's going to be 76 for me. Let's see where all that whipsaw and back and forth took place on Wednesday. I know I mentioned that level earlier. Ultimate target, I suppose. I was looking at 95 earlier, so yeah, I'll look to scale some at the high 70s and then see if we can't touch 90 for a final target. And that may not happen. And right now I've got a short leash on this. I've got my stop right here at 62. I thought about keeping my runner here at 59. So it's been a good trade. It's worked out well. I'm out of half of it, and day like today, I just want to lock in some profit. So if it gets down to here, it'll take me out on a little bit of, on the half position I have. But if it goes lower and it's still looking bullish and it kind of hangs out, meanders, I can always get involved again. So just thinking through that trade. I can remember before talking about 60 to 70 kind of being like a no man's land. It was on one of these, I think it was one of these days back in here on the 15-minute. And I'm mindful too that initially I had the 65, just in my head, I hadn't mentioned it, but I had, before we were looking really bullish and just pushed up, I had 65-ish areas, an area where I might like to get involved to the short side. And that's still, it may happen, but since I'm involved, I'm just going to hold on to it and see if we continue just drifting and pushing higher. So, let's see. For me, a good scale out area or a good place to have a stop would either be here or just slightly below it. But as of right now, it's just at the bottom of this bar. See where halfback is here. Figure that out too. All right, got another 45 seconds till we get a new 5-minute bar. Looks like we're pushing up higher, but we're kind of pausing right here. I've got my stop at 62.5 just because of where I entered the trade. So on this one, structurally, I feel like you'd be wrong below this 59 level. So I've wavered between maybe trying to move my stop a little bit lower down to there. I've already taken profit on half of this thing, and I don't want to give a lot back. So the question for me is, do I hold it here or at that point? I might move it down just a tad. I know I talk about that a lot as far as like structurally, where am I wrong? So on this trade, I'll give it a little bit more breathing room. I feel it below 59, I'm wrong. So that's where I'm going to move. Let's see. I want to see how this 5-minute bar finishes up too. That's not, I don't like how that looks right there. Oh, we'll give it a little time. Yeah, I'm pleased with that area. I think that's a good spot right there at 59. See if anyone's chatted and commented. 52.5 is half back. Huh. I guess hopefully you guys can hear me. Can you hear me? It said the stream was broken up for a minute there. Thanks, Micah. Yeah, I'm sorry about this. Like I said, I've been waiting to get some fiber here, which would just be fantastic. So they just installed it, and I'm waiting to hear on who the provider is. So that'll help. Anyway, all right, we're hanging out here right at 65, which I feel is an important level. Micah said 37.52 half is half back, which that's pretty strong. We've got, well, it's half back, so that gives a little bit of strength. We've got overnight high here, and we've got this little cluster right here. Remember there was that push down on the 1 minute, and then immediately the bulls just drove it right back up. So if we do push lower that, and you're looking to get long, that could certainly be a place where you might want to do business. Now, whether we get there or not, who knows? And it'll depend on if we get there, like the fashion in which we do it. That's also something to be mindful of. Somebody mentioned, what, 78 POC? Yeah, I mentioned 76 is going to be another scale out area for me if we get up there. And then ultimately I'd be looking for like 90 for the day. So let's see. Yeah, so I'm watching 76. I don't watch volume a ton, and I don't know if there's anything to be gleaned from the volume right now as far as what it's doing. Let's see if we put in a new high here. Oh, my tea is getting cold. So again, we'll ask ourselves, what is the market trying to do, and is it doing a good job? It's trying to put in higher highs. The 5-minute looks like it's you would think it would pop here and go higher based on this. So earlier that 57.5 was a level. So it's trying to push higher, but it's just kind of grinding it out. We got to be mindful of tempo too. And again, I mentioned earlier that, tempo is something that it can change. Tempo can stay the same all day, or it can just change on you. It's hard to know. So on that, I was looking for that to pop and was gonna move my stop or my trail to this spot right here, which I'm gonna have to make a decision soon here whether I want to do that or not. So they defended that. Let's see if they defend 59 here, if they come down to it. Where are we at here? Another 3 minutes till we get a new 5-minute bar, so we've got a little time. All right, let's see if we push this time. There we go. So I'm going to move my trailing stop to this level here. Want to see it push above 70. If we don't, I'll be taken out right there. And then I'll probably, if I get taken out here, see if we come down any lower and see if it sets up for another long. All right, got one more minute on the 5-minute. Feel like it's got to go here in another minute or so. But the market can do whatever it wants to do, right? Anything can happen and something will happen. So this isn't looking great right here. I've got my stop just bit above my entry. I'm just gonna have it right here at this level, right around 63.5. All right, that trailing one for me is almost taken out, but not yet. I'm still hanging in there. Bulls defended, at least in the short term. Anything can change on a 1 minute time frame. It's hard for me to be in longs where we're just like grinding it out, or shorts for that matter, when it just kind of drifts. I mean, if you're long, everybody, I'm probably not alone, everybody likes a good, if you're long, oh, I love when it pops 100 points. Yeah, who doesn't? Those are my best trades. Yeah, mine too. Ask me what my worst ones are. My worst are usually the ones that just, drift and drift and drift, where they go higher and they push, but it just takes forever to get there. All right, so definitely got a little battle going on here between 70. Bears trying to keep it below that. Bulls want to keep it above, call it like 63 here. Certainly 59 they want to keep it above. And got close to my little trailing one being stopped out, but that didn't happen. So I'm going to move now. Have it right here like 63.5 for that trailing one. And let's see. So this is where I usually take some off, because I don't want to see it come back down against me. But I'm going to try to stick with this one a little bit longer. See if we can push up higher. There we go. All right, so let's see if we can bump 76. If we do, I'm going to take some off the table there. So my trailing stop is right here at this level now. So market's not in a hurry to get higher, but it is bullish. It is pushing higher. Yeah, Mike, I don't blame you. We're bullish on the day, but it's the market's not getting there quick. Not a lot of like good spots to get in. I suppose you could have done 64 and then had a real tight stop here at 63, or I guess 59. I feel like structurally 59 was a good spot, but don't sweat it, man. There might be something that you see here in another few minutes, or might not. It's all good. All right, I'm looking for 76 for another scale out. I don't want to be too greedy on this. It's moving slowly, which isn't fun, but it is pushing higher. Let's see if there's anything I'm missing here. It kind of sucks when you got a level and you think, all right, I want to hold out for that level. It gets close to it, and then the market starts backing off. That's never fun. So again, I'm looking for 76-ish area, but I'm the king. I'm known for getting out a little bit early just to try to lock in some profits. So we'll see what we do up here at 75, and I might take a little bit off the table right there. Still got my stop here right at this level. or my trailing stop. Again, these are hard for me to hold, and just, you want to give it some line, you want to let it do its thing, but you also don't want to give back profit. But it's just part of learning to be disciplined, I suppose. So I'm thinking too, like if I was wanting to sell, I certainly wouldn't want to be selling here. So maybe that's something that helps me stay in the trade longer. As long as it doesn't reverse. If it reverses, you think, oh yeah, this is the perfect spot to sell right here. 83. 4. So want to see it stay above 70. I really admire traders who can flip on a dime. I feel like that's indicative of a trader who really is very disciplined, very objective. So someone who can be long, get out, or see something different that tells them otherwise and then reverse it and get involved to the other side. I'm not saying that's what I want to do here, but I'm impressed by guys who can do that. See where halfback is now. Let's check this out. Let's see. Here to here. Halfback looks to be this 54 area. I don't know if that makes much sense. I want to see it get above 70. The Bulls do. All right. Another 30 seconds till we get a new 15-minute bar, new 5-minute bar. So we're bullish. We've kind of gapped, put in a gap, and then we're just off to the races this morning. Market strong, but it's just drifting higher. It's not blasting off. So we're mindful of the tempo with that. If we get up above this, I'll move my little runner probably to this level right here. Or not little runner, I'm still in half of this thing. Looking for 75 to 76. Initially the number was 76. 75, I might take some off the table there. And this isn't looking great. I'm going to sell just a little bit right here at this level. Alright, so I'm still in 40% of my position with the hard stop right here at 63.5. We'll just put it right at that level. Trying to stick with this. See if it can push up higher. So I've got the bulk of my stop of what remains here. I've got a small piece stop right here, trailing this long. The piece that's right here, I'm looking to take that off at 75 or 76. So let's see if we get there. Five minute not looking great, but still showing some strength. All right. I'm trying to scale this thing a little bit now. There we go. All right, I just sold a little bit more at 74.5. So I'm in 30% of the original position. Gonna be holding what I got now against this level. The initial target was 76. We're close to it. I feel like we get it, but there we go. There it is right there. I'm gonna take just a little bit more off right there. Alright, so I'm in 20% of this thing. So it did get to my 76 level. I feel like for me the final target, my final area is going to be like 90 to 95. We'll see if we get there. So here's our 5. Push up and now just drifting higher. So not ideal for the longs. So again, my little trailing one for 20% is just right here at 66. Initial entry was right at 61. Good scale out there. I'm pleased with that. So this is an interesting bar here. Alright, so it looked like some other people had 76 or this area as a target as well. What got me to 61? I didn't have 61. I put it in as a market order when I got involved, so it wasn't like I had 61 as a level that I wanted to get involved. But when we came up here, first, well, we gapped up, didn't really look back. We're showing some strength. Got above the overnight high, the green dotted line here. I saw it sell off here on the 1 minute, which I thought, oh, okay, this is interesting. We could push off and then hang out a bit. Maybe we retest this. But the bulls just drove it right back. They just like slammed it right back in their face. I saw it come down again and saw this level hold. So like we held here, never got below what I felt could be support, and then put in new highs once we took out this level. And so I saw it pushing up and thought, okay, I think that's good. So I just hit market order, got involved. It got me filled at 61. And before that, I was looking at 76 as an area that might be a target. So in my mind, I thought, you know what, 61 seems good. We got this news coming out pretty soon. Let's see if it can go in my direction. I didn't know if I'd be totally wrong if we got below this level, but I thought if we're putting in a new high and then immediately pull back into this area, I would have let it go. I wouldn't have liked that. So with this one, yeah, that was definitely more of a gutsy trade, a little bit more like just gut feel. And also was looking here at the 15 where we had overnight high and a bunch of like stuff going on here. I thought, well, maybe we come up and then we hold this area and then try to get up somewhere into, the meat of this spot here. So that was pretty much the reason behind it, Micah. More of a quick decision, like intuitive trade for sure for me, which isn't always a good thing for me. So kind of it's not weird structure. I mean, there's bull days where it's like this, where we come up and then the bears try selling it and the bulls just keep buying it back. Yeah, that's good, man. And I was in an amount where it wasn't, going to be a big deal if it was a loser. And it makes sense to not chase. Absolutely. There were trades, I think, not Friday, but Thursday. I think it was you, Micah, where you had a really nice short at 92, and once you mentioned that, the market was probably 10 points lower, and I thought, boy, that's still a nice level. I still really like what it could do here, but same thing. I wanted to be involved, but I was like, man, I don't want to chase just because if it reverses, I've got that much more area for my stop loss, so just got to sit and wait for another trade. But so that was my thinking Thursday when you had that nice short right around like 92, saying you'd be wrong at 98. Great level. Whereas this one for me, like I feel like your trade was more clear. This one was more just guttural, visceral, like just gut reaction. So I'm still holding 20%. My hard stop is right at this level right here, which still puts me in a profitable position on that trade. Anyway, you slice it. Had some good scale outs along the way. I'm just drawing stuff here to see if anything makes sense. So anyone watch volume? I would think if we push higher that we, could see a big volume spike, but we're coming up higher and I don't know. Volume isn't super heavy on this move up. It looked like the bigger volume is just, right off the jump. These are the markets that used to just. So today, like today, if we just drift higher, and if we get up to 37.95, these are the days that used to just eat my lunch, man. These are the days where I'd give back a whole month and then some, where I'd have a premise to get short, or I'd have an area and I'd do it there, and I would just fight it and fight it and fight it, and by the end of the day, you're just like, oh man, what was I doing? Instead of waiting for some kind of confirmation to get short. And maybe if confirmation comes, it's too late, but goodness sake, man, it's better to just, I love how Mark Douglas says, like, there's going to be many times when sitting on your hands is like putting money in the bank. And a lot of times we can see it the complete opposite as, well, sitting on my hands, I'm not doing anything. I'm not making any money. I'm not involved. Now, it's not good to sit on your hands if there's a good trade and you just can't pull the trigger. Like, that's no good, which I've been everywhere. I've been there too. Like Johnny Cash, right? As it relates to trading. I've been everywhere, man. Blown out my stops, man. Lost $100,000, man. The whole gamut. So yeah, if you're sitting on your hands and there's a level that makes sense to you and the chart's looking good and you can't pull the trigger, well, that's a different story. But to be involved because of FOMO or because you feel like I gotta be doing something, I love how Mark Douglas says there will be times when sitting on your hands, not times, he says oftentimes, sitting on your hands will be like putting money in the bank. Oh, absolutely, James P. I haven't said it in a while, but I'll remind myself that, when it comes to trading, there's 3 positions we can take. Like, what? Yeah, we can be long, so we can be buyers. We can be short, we can be sellers, or we can be flat, meaning that we're not involved. We're just waiting for more market-generated information. We're waiting for more clarity. We're waiting for a better setup. So it's okay. It's okay to be flat. Last Thursday, there was that good sell-off. Like, I did end up taking a trade later in the day. I was doing some work and had a level and pulled up my phone. I was like, oh, there it is. Really nice. It worked out. But that morning, man, I just, for, what was it, 2.5 hours I was watching, just sat on my hands. Didn't want to chase, wasn't involved, didn't have a good feel for risk to reward. That's just how it was. So it's okay. So again, let's go back over how we define a successful day. I can and will have a winning performance every single day because I define winning as simply watching and observing. So just watching and observing so far. Now anything can happen and things can change, but so far we're in a pretty strong bull market. We're just kind of drifting up. That's where we're at right now. Another way we define success, or the way I do, is that I'm not fearful that I'm going to miss a move. It doesn't mean that I won't have trades that are a little bit quicker reaction, like that one that I took here, where I was just in for market, wanted to get with the long, and kind of rode it up. But it means that, like, even then, I'm not going to have fear that I'm going to miss the next big move. And then lastly, having a winning performance every day simply means that I'm going to have my targets in place and have my stops in place as well. Know where I'm right, know where I'm wrong, and then execute accordingly. And we'll do our best when we do that to just keep emotions at bay, to just manage ourselves, manage our emotions. Anyone else in the room? Anyone else watching? Anyone else have any trades today that you've taken? I moved my screen. I took one screen down and move one where sometimes I've got the chat pulled up so I can see it. So on this one, let's see. So on this, I'm going to move that trailing to this level here. So we'll put it to 67.5, we'll call it. So just going to move that guy up a little bit. The last 20% of what I'm in. That's it. Yeah, that's the spot. Okay. Right there. So it came up to my 76 level here. Pretty quick sell off of that. Looks like it's just resuming trend. That's it. So yeah, anyone else take any trades today? Any levels that you like? Any great stories? Anyone made a killing? I'll accept paper trade killing. I mean, if you just made, 15 grand in paper money, that's acceptable. I'd like to hear about it. Just close my eyes, man, and I just bought it market. All right, well, let's look at the 5-minute. Here's our 5, strong off the gate, held the overnight high, held it here. This bar was kind of, so yeah, I think that was another thing that wanted me to get long. Not only did we put in new highs, but this bar didn't take out that low right there. So here we are up, and now we're just drifting higher. The question is, how far do we drift? The question is, does the tempo change it someday? Do we run stops and it really pushes higher? That is the question, isn't it? So the next target for me is going to be 90 to the long side. 90 to 95. Yeah, I might say 95 on that. Tech, you in here? I wonder if Tech's around today. Tech 111. Oh, that's good. All right, 9:50 on a Tuesday, which is really more like a Monday, because we had an abbreviated session yesterday. I didn't realize it was shortened. It had to have been because of the Juneteenth holiday. So we're back on Tuesday, which is more like a Monday, and the bulls are just pushing higher. Here's our 15-minute. 15-minute over here, been strong, and now just pushing higher, drifting higher. Alright, I'm going to move one more trailing stop to this level now. So I've got one here. I'll wait and see if we pop up higher. If we do, I'll move the other one to here. Alright, so I think I'll move that one. So I've got them at different levels. So I've got them stair-stepped a bit with, I'm in just 20% of the final piece of that trade. I've got two different stops on this one. I've got one right here at this level, like a trailing stop, and then I've got another one right over here. The levels here are 70 half and then 67 half. Grind, yeah. There's your 78, Micah. Well, there it is. There it is, there. Glue to the charts, trailing the slow grind upwards. Yep, I'm doing a little trailing myself. So as mentioned earlier, I got in at 61, scaled some out along the way, took off another piece here. I was in 60% up to this 76 area, got out here, and I'm still in 20% with one stop right here, one trailing stop here, and then the other trailing stop here. Where if we push up any more, I might move just both of them here to 70 half for both trailing stops. It is a grinder of a day. Fine, I'm trying to hold this last 20% to see if we get up to 90 to 95. That's my target. So at this point, just based on the momentum and the movement, the cadence, I'm just going to put the rest of the position right here with the trailing stop at 70 half. Maybe that's too high. I mean, shoot, we're 9 points above that, which 9 points isn't a lot, but a day like today, it could be. What was it, Mike? You said a naked POC or something at 78? Yeah, I see it going back. There's a naked POC at 78, just so you know. Yep. I was looking at 76. Which we did hit. Let me pull up this chart here and see how I got to. What was it? Yeah, I was able to derive 76 just looking at like some of this action here, these wicks, and then these wicks here, and so in my head, 76 made sense for a scale out. It's interesting, isn't it? Like, so I'm familiar with POC and A period, B period, C period, all that stuff, initial balance, but I don't use that to trade. But I love it. I think it's super cool when a guy who's watching that, watching market profile, and then a guy who's watching just price action where you've got a level, and granted 76 isn't the same as 78, but it's pretty darn close, and it's neat how we're looking at different data points but still coming up with that area as an area that could have significance, right? Like, it's always, this could happen here, this might happen here, this is an area to be an area of note, an area worth mentioning, at least, I guess we'll say that. An area worth mentioning. Anyone else here in the room? Anyone else watching? Anyone else taking any trades this morning? Really not much to do right now for me. Just hanging tight. So, anyone else see anything? Are there any levels that you like? So for me, looking at this chart, the 90 was derived just by the bit of wicks here, then a fail, and then this level here as well. And I could be, if I get out at 90 or 95, could be way premature. You just never know, but that's the next target I've got in place. Yeah, I got a big wick here on the 15, so I don't know. That's what I've got on 20%, looking for 90 to 95 with the last 20%. Not the whole wad, right? Just that. Wonder what the data. I wonder what the housing data will be next month. Truly, not that I care because it's interesting. I don't care regarding like how I'm trading based on that information, but I find it pretty interesting, especially with rates, mortgage rates way higher than where they were. So let's see, existing home sales. So yeah, it looks like the consensus range for existing home sales was right in the middle. There was a range of 5.3 to 5.55. The number came in at 5.41. So it's right where it was expected. No big surprise. And the market didn't hate that, I guess. I don't know. Got feelings about news and talking heads. I mean, they do what they do. It's cool. If I was paid to do that, I'd do it well. I'd try to give effect to every little tidbit of information that came out, but whatever. Tech, I'm curious if you have. You're good at levels. If you've got a target that you're looking for, are you involved at all? I know you said you're glued to the charts, and you must be involved because you're trailing this slow grind upwards. You got a level that you like that you're looking for. I'll be right back. I'm gonna step away for quite a while. I'm gonna go take the dog for a little run, and I'll just leave this stuff up. So if you guys are chatting, feel free to do that. Yeah, so I'll be back here. I don't know. I guess a half hour or so. Turn it off, wrap it up then, and that's about it. I've got that one trailing right here around 70.5 for the last 20%. Getting a notice here with my feed. Sorry if it's not great. Let's see. Oh, I asked Tech about his target. But yeah, 3,800. That seems like a legit area as well. 38. Yeah, so we'll see if we get there. We'll see if we push up higher. But see you guys in about a half hour. I'll be back to wrap up and trade well. Don't have any FOMO. Today we're obviously, at least for right now, we're in a bullish market. Hang tight. Know that if you didn't get involved, it's all right. Like there'll be other trades today, certainly other trades tomorrow. So let the market set up, show you what it wants to do, and manage it accordingly and appropriately. All right, be back. Hey, I'm back. Looks like we had a little bit of a stop run there, so I'm watching this level, and looks like my level at 37.70 half got taken out, but I just got re-involved here. I just bought back into the level that got stopped out at. So again, it was only 20% I was involved with initially, and I bought some just as I came and sat here. Against this level, I might add a little bit if we get a bit lower, but we'll see. Looking decent on the 5-minute here. I'm going to wrap up soon. Looking decent on the 5 minutes, so more than likely I'll just hold it against this low right here. So that's going to be it. Still looking for 37.90 to 95 for targets, and I think the one that Tech mentioned at 3,800 could be valid as well. So I'm going to wrap it up. I will see you guys soon. Have a great rest of your day. Happy trading. Nice, Micah. Well done. Very good.